talk about the power of relationships, how it's elevated from what you started out doing to where you're at now, where you're not just the owner of this business, you're the talent as well, but you can still use relationships that you've had from your previous engagements with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, relationships are everything. And, I didn't really realize that, when I was on the interview side and the media side, I was just hustling, right? Trying to get interviews with every hip hop artist I could possibly think of. I didn't know how much it was going to translate into the live space, until I started to I needed contacts at Live Nation, I needed contacts at AEG to book these venues. Like the live space is almost like even more closed than the recording space, right? Because in the recording side of the music industry or in the media side of the music industry, right, anybody can pick up a camera, anybody can plug up a microphone, and then you can just upload your music or your video and you can reach a lot of people, right? If your stuff connects, then you have the ability to connect with a huge audience. The thing that's so different in the live space is that you have to rent out a venue. You can't get around being somebody, a gatekeeper, essentially being like, do we want this show in our room or not? You know what I mean? And so a lot of the relationships that I had in the live space really came from, when I was interviewing artists and I would be on the road with artists and I would say, hey, I need this connect to get to here, or I need this connect to get to this room because I know you guys have toured and played in them. And once I got a few venues down, then I would start to get to the national person. And now the national person is how I'm able to book all these different rooms, from all these different large companies. But not just that, it's the relationships are one thing, but it's showing up and really not dropping the ball. I know you guys know so much about this, but it's a lot of times, we're pioneering stuff, UBS Arena. I don't think we did our first show with them. Shout out to UBS Arena. I got on the New York Islanders hat, but we did our first show with them. And they hadn't had a DJ, like a R&B, or even I would say hip hop, a DJ driven event, with no traditional talent before us, so they're all right, we're taking a chance on this.
Yeah.
And, you can't drop the ball on that because it's for the next people, what about when a Caribbean show wants to come in there? Or, you know what I mean? What about when Afrobeat show wants to come in there? Or what about when reggaeton show wants to come in there? It's at least they have us as a reference point to say, oh yeah, we know how R&B only does it. And, they did an amazing job. And so, a lot, and that's how the game works too. A lot of time now, I'm kind of like a young OG in this live space. So there's a lot of people that are coming up, and I'm always on the phone. I take Zoom calls all the time with the young men and women that are out here trying to make a wave with live events because it's just so different. And a lot of times you do need that cosign and you do need just some direction to even point you in the right way, because in this space, it's you could take a bath, man. You could lose a lot of money quickly putting on a show and not really knowing, the sort of ups and downs of it. You know what I mean? And I think that, it's like everything. Relationships are half the game, and then just execution and really really making your mark and showing people that you've got something to prove and you're supposed to be here is the other part.
Really quickly, what platform are you using to collect the data? Because I know when we did our show at MSG, Ticketmaster wasn't the most favorable. Shout out to Ticketmaster and all the amazing shareholders there.
Yeah. Big shout out Live Nation Ticketmaster.
Shout out to them. Yes, love you guys.
Yes.
Amazing trailblazers. But what form did you use to be able to collect the data for your events?
So there's two sides to it, Ian. So because for us, we're not only are we collecting data from the ticket sales, but this is a pro tip for anybody throwing events. You want to also collect what we call pre-registrations or leads, something so that people can sign up. You can customize this however you want, right? and you're letting people know, hey, this thing is about to drop, right? But I need your data to incentivize you for maybe like a discounted ticket or early access pre-sale. And so we use a platform called Typeform for that because it's highly customizable. But if you just, literally just Google form submission, you know what I mean? Like platforms for form submissions, right? But I think that's the biggest thing that people in the live event space still to this day are underutilizing, is like that type of like pre-registration. And then on the ticketing side, we shout out to Live Nation and Universe and Ticketmaster, because we're sort of all in a family together by using their self-service platform, which is called Universe, and they've been really good to us. We also rock with Eventbrite. We use Eventbrite for ticketing, and we're kind of like toying around with other companies too. But it's hard to have it's hard to have like a singular brand and then say, hey, the tickets are here, the tickets are here, the tickets are here, the tickets are here. You kind of want to have not too many different experiences for like a checkout process. But all of those tickets that we sell then funnel into our CRM platform, and we use a platform called Tradable Bits, which is really, really big in like the sports world. So a lot of like professional NBA teams, MLB teams use that company to understand data about their ticket buyers. So yeah, those are kind of like, that's kind of our tech stack when it comes to data.